Him who knows that I know what he seeks to know, knows it well, while he who knows not what I know, or know not.
Hoy there, I'm Mr. McFacepunch. You can call me Chainsaw. Welcome to episode 5 of our Dragon's Dogma lore run. Already up to episode 5. Dang, that feels good. Last time we actually left Cassardus. Woo! Go gang, let's go! We did some running around. We may or may not have uncovered a small plot from the Enlistment Corps to shut off travel routes so that they could enlist more people because the duchy's having issues recruiting people. I mean, there's also like the issue of monsters coming down from the mountain or whatever, but I don't know. Seems a little fishy to me. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the game. I mean, we're not gonna jump. We'll just like load game and then it'll start. Okay, this is where we left off last time, staring over at the Blue Moon Tower. We just finished upon a pawn. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, the goal this time is going to be to finish Call of the Arisen. But first we're going to go back to Cassardus. Tricked ya. Yeah, so somebody pointed out in the comments that I haven't been looking at the item descriptions on like inventory stuff in shops, and I thought that was a pretty good point. So I think we're going to do that. Most of the equipment doesn't have much that's super important. A lot of the bigger stuff will be when we get to Grand Soren, but it's still worth looking at it, you know? I mean, we're looking at so many small things, and a lot of times, the small things add up. The way the puzzle PC kind of storytelling works in Dragon's Dogma, sometimes a random piece of item equipment really just unlocks all the understanding you need. It's kind of crazy that way. So let's check out Estella's. She's not going to have anything new to say because we already checked that. Okay, so equipment. This stuff isn't going to be super important. Heavy sword, common across the land. While simple of make and design, it provides adequate defense for the road. A sword forged from light yet durable material built for agile fighters who would stay nimble in battle. A heavy sword forged by a master smithy. Its great heft makes for devastating strikes. Ingot club. I like the big bonky thing. A bludgeon crafted specially refined ore. Bone, brick, and lesser metals all give way before its astonishing might. Yeah. Flamberge. A longsword with a saw-like blade that can rend flesh, organ, and bone with equal ease. Chest caver. An extremely weighty hammer wrought of tempered metal. Even the mightiest of strongmen struggle to harness its power. Yeah, that's because, look at it, it's just a hunk of metal. Criteria. Nimble daggers used far and wide, light and wieldy, even for weaker adventurers unaccustomed to the rigors of the road. Throat cutters. Daggers forged with a slit down the blade to reduce weight, quite durable and wieldy in the right hands. Bardiche daggers. Fearsome daggers in the shape of a waning moon. Another reference to the moon. Hmm. They once served as blades at the end of polearms. So, something that I think is interesting, I think it's funny in Dragon's Dogma 2, we don't get regular spears, we just get duo spears. And then there's a bunch of different daggers that have that sort of, oh, they were once at the end of polearms. So it's like, it's almost like they made the duo spear just two ends of the same, like, daggers. Like you put a stick in the middle of the two Bardiche daggers, and then you get a Bardiche duo spear kind of thing. I think that's funny. Honestly, I think the Mystic Spear Hand should have been blue-green vocation, but that's just me. A staff commonly wielded by neophytes who value its simple make and easy handling. Ironclad staff, a rod finished with iron, heavy in the hand but easily wielded by conjurers of every stripe. Cast stone, an ivory rod affixed with an ensorcelled stone that amplifies the magic power of any spell. Solar Numen, an archstaff that silently radiates energy, as powerful as the sight of the solar eclipse it bears on one end. Shield, come on. Yeah, these aren't gonna be super important. A stout shield wrought of ore from the untamed lands. I wonder what they mean by that. Like, what counts as the untamed lands? Built to withstand use by the most hardened of warriors. Blue kite shield. A shield fashioned for the express purpose of magic infusion. Well known as standard equipment among Grand Soren's knights. Short bow. It's just a bow. Hunter's bow, sturdy yet flexible bow, hewn solely of the finest heartwood, granting it respectable range. A standard longbow outfitted with an elaborate firing mechanism that allows for a steady stream of arrows. Terminal gyre. A magical bow wrought of specially refined metal that amplifies the power of its arrows in flight. And that's all we got for weapons. Leather cap. A feathered leather cap thick enough to protect the head from mishaps. Mishaps. You know, I don't know what kind of mishap that would protect from, but okay. Sturdy feather cap, fashioned from especially hardened red leather. A hood with a thin plate of lead to protect the crown of the head from unexpected blows. Iron helm that protects the face down to the eye level, with an avant tail to guard the neck. Iron headgear, a hood fixed with a plate of iron at the forehead, preserving easy movement while offering protection where it is needed. Twilight hood, a jet black hood crafted to keep the enemy from recognizing one's face. Traveler's hood, a conventional hood worn by travelers, comfortable and adequate against the dust of the road, but of very little value in combat. I mean, it looks kind of fun though. Would any of you wear that out in public? I might. I'm just kind of that guy though. Traveler's shirt, it's a shirt. Hemp shirt, it's a hemp shirt. Linen shirt, it's a linen shirt. Tunic, it's a tunic. Oh, that one's also made of hemp. That one's made of cotton. I combined cotton and tunic. Forest tunic, a garment dyed with compounds extracted from rare plants. Interesting. Quilted jerkin, a stitched jerkin quilted for extra protection. Faded vest, vest of pleated leather, well worn but still suitable as everyday wear. Skull belts, a set of belts festooned with skeletal designs. Leather jacket, it's a leather jacket. Leather belts, it's a leather belts. Chest guard, a bronze chest piece designed for archers, offering protection while not hindering their bow work. Sectional iron plate with Grand Soren's seal etched on the shoulder. Light bronze armor that preserves mobility while protecting the most vulnerable parts of the upper body. Leather protector, light armor fashioned from high quality leather and other sturdy material. Lightweight iron armor to cover the most vulnerable areas, protects archers without hampering their bow work. That's a robe. That's also a robe, specifically for Healy people. Scholar's coat. Yeah, it's it's a coat for scholars. It's a coat for magicians. Traveler's vest. A little more. Wooden bands, oaken bracelets that deflect light blows to the wrists. A traditional Kasardi accessory. That's kind of important. It's like, oh, hey, the people of Cassardus wear this kind of thing. That's nice. That's good to know. Talismanic beads, rosary bracelets worn as protective charms. A traditional Kasardi accessory. There we go. Cool. Funny bone guards, lightweight padding for the elbows that safeguard against accidental injury. No funny bone bumps over here. Scholar's bangle, metal bracelets oft worn by apprentices and other peoples of magic. Bronze bangles, guards rod of bronze. Cool. Hand covers, cover your hands. Novice bracers. Bracers of layered cloth designed for neophyte adventurers. Leather gloves. Gloves fashioned from sturdy leather. Thanks, item description. I love when the item description says exactly what it is. Leather gloves. Item description. Leather gloves. Iron arm guard. A single bracer of iron for the dominant arm. Cool. Manique? I think's how you say that. I don't know. Lightweight bracers reinforced with iron plating. All right, onto the legs. Short pants. Pants that are short. Yeah, not but short cloth pants. You got it. Traveler's tights, resilient tights, able to withstand long journeys and life on the road. Full-length hosen, fashioned of sturdy cotton fabric. Yes, they are hosen made of cotton. The cotton hosen. Hemp hosen, comfortable hosen of breathable hemp. Workers' pants, pants for workers. Yellow gaiters. They were white when we started. Tight wrappings, tight wrappings derived from tree bark, hence their subdued color. So they objectively, lore-wise, they were not white when we started. Protects the entire lower body. Brown leathers. A wrapping stitched from sturdy scraps of quality animal hide. Boots stitched from discarded strips of leather. Boots oft worn by apprentices and other pupils of magic. Fur greaves. Got the boots with the fur. Leather greaves wrapped in thick animal hide for extra protection. Riveted boots. Tall boots of leather reinforced with riveted copper plating. Budget greaves. Inexpensive greaves made from a smithy's scraps. Nice. The leftovers. Iron cuisses. Durable cuisses wrought of thick iron plate. Leather cuisses. The same thing, but of leather. Chainmail skirt. Skirt of chainmail. Cool. Shoulder cape. The Otoako special, because it's just a scarf. And that guy likes scarves. A thick cape that heightens resistance to being frozen solid while boosting the wearer's stamina. Scholar's cape. A protective cloak of special fabric that heightens resistance to catching fire while boosting the wearer's health. Feather cape. A cape well favored by magical adepts. Harpy cloak. A protective cape of harpy feathers mitigates the effect of dousing by water. And that's what we got for Estella's shop. Not a lot there. That's okay. It's all early game equipment. Like I said, the interesting stuff comes when we get to Grand Soren, especially from the Black Cat. Alright. And Iola should have some stuff too. Got the farewell stuff. A new hood, painstakingly fashioned, traditionally gifted to Kesardi natives to invite good luck on their travels. Very nice. Minstrel's band, a headband popular with traveling players. Wearing it makes one feel like a true bard. Guys, we need some bards in Dragon's Dogma. Okay, I made a post about it, but like bards actually fit the magic setup in Dragon's Dogma so well. Because like okay, without looking at it, I'm probably going to get some of the wording wrong, but essentially like your voice, like when you intone the spells, is like a catalyst, and then the staff that you use is the focus. So like for a bard, you would use your musical instrument as both the catalyst and the focus. So like it just fits the magic of Dragon's Dogma really well, and it would be so fun. Imagine end of this like being able to just play End of the Struggle as like a skill. Like you play it and then like as it's playing once it reaches a certain point, boom, big skill goes off and like explosions or whatever. That would be fun. Anyway, Sardi Shift, a humble shirt of animal hide stitched by a time-honored Kasardi method. Fine Kasardi shirt, a half shirt, hand-woven by a master tailor, both comfortable and pleasing to the eye. Plebeian shirt, that's what we got on. Shirt of common style and inexpensive fabric, offers protection against the cold, but little else. Set of fisherman's garb, traditional Kasardi wear, a hallmark of Grancis culture for generations. Farewell gloves, New gloves, painstakingly fashioned, traditionally gifted to Kasardi natives to invite good luck on their travels. So the same thing as the farewell hood. Under trousers made of tanned animal pelts, sturdy enough for daily wear. Fine Kasardi hosen, fine underhosen from a master tailor, resistant to tearing, yet supple like a second skin. How nice. Cloth greaves, trousers of common style and inexpensive fabric. Kasardi greaves, breeches favored by Kasardi fishermen, woven tight to protect the wearer against dousing with water. Farewell cloak, same thing as the other farewell stuff, and shed cape. So Iola has like the farewell stuff that you would I imagine the goal is to like get you to buy that as like a you're leaving on your adventure like right away at the start of the game because like that stuff isn't like really good stat wise. Uh, but I don't know. I didn't even know that was there until like 7 playthroughs in. So like I just never found Iola in her shop. This is Emma. Say hi, Emma.
You were hurt worse than most, but you seem hale as a whale, cuz.
Hail is a whale. I need to start saying that. That's pretty good.
I'm fit to rival you in that, I'm happy to say. I could hardly say the same were it not for your help. That's sure.
Yeah, so she was one of the people that we helped with by gathering the flowers. She actually has a couple of different lines. I don't know if she gives them
You
all
were
right
hurt
now.
worse than most.
Nope,
I could
okay.
hardly say
She'll give us more a little later. Is that Inez?
Fate mocks me. I thought to run, even made a start of it. Yet here I am again. It's no great love for the village that keeps me here, truth be told. It pains me to leave behind patrons who've given me their custom so faithfully. What good would running do, truly? I'll know how to run a dragon's wings. If the beast cares to find me, I'll be found. If there's naught to do but wait and see, I may as well do it here. What good would running do, truly? I'll know how to run it. If
I don't
there's no...
remember if we talked to Inez yet. She might have just popped in. All right, I think we're about ready to head over to do Call of the Arisen. But before I do that, one thing I think is funny, people say that you can see Bitter Black Isle from Cassius. You can't. Um, I don't know if I've said that yet, but yeah, no matter how you look, what time of day you look, before or after you meet Olra, Bitter Black Isle is not visible from Cassius. That was just one of those weird things that like people just kind of say, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah," but yeah, it's not out there, guys. There's Blue Moon Tower all the way across the horizon. You see funny cloud formation there, but it's literally moving, and it will move all over the map. You cannot see Bitter Black Isle from Cassius. It's a lie. All right, let's go do Call of the Arisen now. Do. We'll get the story rolling. Something that I think is funny is like people say Dragon's Dogma starts slow, but I don't think it actually does. Like I think what the actual effect is like it takes you a while to get accustomed to it. But the game doesn't start slow. The tutorial, you immediately find the dragon, you fight a chimera, like you are introduced to big boss fights right away. Then when the game starts, Big Dragon rips out your heart, and then uh, yeah, I mean, there's the Hydra fight and all that. I think the beginning's actually pretty packed.
Long has arisen. Can you hear our voice?
Rift is talking to, specifically the Pawn Legion is talking to us. Okay, so it wants us to go talk to the Funny Rock. We are now in Call of the Arisen. A mysterious voice called when you arrived at the encampment. Perhaps it is your destiny that beckons. Approach the voice that beckons from the center of the camp. We could do that. Or we could talk to all these NPCs. Who's this lady?
Ought to say, sir?
Ought to say, sir.
Are you here to enlist with the Corps. You've the stature for it, to look at you.
We both.
If you've the interest to match, make it known. I cannot warrant you'll be accepted, but all are free to try.
She's playing coy. You know how desperate they are for recruits.
If you've the interest to match, make it known. I cannot warrant you'll be
Okay, so this is Mercedes. Say hi, Mercedes. She's gonna be an important character. She's also one that has a character bio. So I might as well pull that up now, and we'll go through that. Mercedes
If you've the
Martin.
interest to match, make it known. I cannot
That's
warrant you'll be
bad
accepted,
French
but
accent,
all
but
are
let's
free to
go.
try.
Here goes Mercedes' bio. Grende Hearthstone used to lead a company of knights. Of his two sons and his daughter, Mercedes, the brothers also led their own companies of knights. But Grende's hope for his daughter ran more towards wedding her to an influential noble or a royal from a neighboring domain to firm up the power base of the House of Martin. But once she reached marrying age, Mercedes instead asked for her own company of knights. Aware of her own inexperience and that lack of skills required to lead others, she trained until she was reasonably able as a knight. It was around this time that the dragon appeared in Grancis. If someone from Grenda's nation defeated the dragon, it would greatly increase the power of Hearthstone. Grende was not reckless enough to send either of his brave and strong sons. However, he had to send someone of suitable position, someone as closely related to him as possible, or Grancis might take offense. For the first time in years, Grende called Mercedes forth to speak with her. He hardly wanted his sons to head to the front lines of a battle with a dragon, for to face a dragon was certain death. Mercedes, however, was of suitable position to be Hearthstone's representative. In addition, the people of Grancis would surely never allow a woman to stand on the front lines. Unaware of this, Mercedes was happy to receive the orders from her father and set off for Grancis, thinking that he had finally given her his approval, not understanding his true reasons. Okay, so there's a few things there. Uh, I'm sure a lot of people watched the Punk Duck video about Dragon's Dogma 2, and in his little diatribe where he tried to say Dragon's Dogma 2 is exactly the same as Dragon's Dogma 1, he called Mercedes a master fighter. Um, she's literally described as like reasonably able, like very far from master fighter. She is reasonably able. She's like not bad. But uh yeah, so Mercedes is like she is girl boss. Um a lot of people don't like her because of that, but I think her character arc is actually like really good. You know, it truth is like a main theme in Dragon's Dogma. You always like fight to find the higher truth. And Mercedes gets caught up in the fight between what she wants to be true and what is actually true. So she fancies herself like the strongest knight, capable of leading a company of men to face the dragon. And like really she's just like an okay fighter of of like royal descent, you know? Uh Grenda Hearthstone he kind of sounds like a jerk, but at the same time, his move is very cunning. Because, like, if Grancis isn't going to send her to the front lines because, whatever, woman stuff, they don't want a woman on the front lines. Okay, all that's doing is ensuring that his family line stays going. Like, he's sending the aid, and, along with whatever company of men she leads, uh, who cares if they die? He's interested in saving his own daughter, and I think that's nice. Like, he doesn't want his sons or his daughter to die. I think that's smart, and like yeah, Grenda definitely comes off as cold, but there's some there's some redeeming qualities there. Anyway, Mercedes is good. I like Mercedes as a character. I think the people that just like blindly hate her because woman, uh, I think that's kind of silly. And also the people who like make her out to they play into her fantasy almost, where it's like, oh, she's so cool, she's big girl boss. Like, no, her boots are too big for her feet, you know. She's definitely she falls into Stefan's line of he who dons a cloak too long is like to stumble. Like, that's what she is. Okay? Like, she's good. She's not big girl boss, and I think that actually makes her character better, you know? Mercedes discussion over. Let's go talk to more people. What's this guy doing?
Times are hard indeed.
He doesn't say anything. Larch.
What is it?
Boy, I'm so glad my parents didn't name me Larch. What's this guy doing?
Save your talk for the captain.
Save your talk to the captain.
Do I look like a captain to you?
You could be. Dang, sell yourself short, Cyrus. You gotta aim higher, bud.
Do I look like a captain?
Okay, he's done talking. Do I look like a captain to you? Shut up.
If you've aught to ask,
Sir
ask it of
Georg.
Captain Mercedes. I've no love for idle chatter. If you'll I've no love for idle chatter.
Okay. He's no love for idle chatter.
We are near a rift stone, if memory serves.
What is it? If you're looking to join, talk to the captain. The woman over there.
The woman over there.
If you're looking to join, talk to the captain.
Oh, I am tired. A fellow can't get decent sleep in these tents. A fellow can't get decent sleeping.
Oh, okay. Hey, Sir Burn.
If you've come to train, I beg your patience. I have preparations still to make. If you've come to...
Okay. Sir Burn, easily number 2 favorite NPC. Very close to Marin. For reasons that we'll see later. Mostly tied to, like, stuff that happens after you beat the dragon. But yeah, Sir Burn, super cool.
What purpose do you suppose this place holds?
It's closed. Seems we need dispensation to pass.
Alright, I think that was all the guys.
We are near
And-
a rift stone,
And one
if
gal.
memory serves.
What did the pawns say when we talked to him?
Hello.
Hello.
Seek out the rift, Arisen.
Seek out the rift.
Hello. I fear we cannot yet.
Okay. Alright. Think it's time to talk to the rift. This guy doesn't say anything important.
Have all you need? We are an inn first and foremost. We can safeguard your belongings. Have your pick, any you like. Come again soon.
Alright. Okay, so we're gonna talk to the rift stone. Yeah.
Well met, Arisen. Can you hear our voice? We speak to you from across great distance. The Pawn Legion has awaited you. Pray, forgive this strange and impersonal greeting. This rift serves as a gate. It connects our kind to your world. It opens to the Arisen, for they possess a will powerful enough to guide the Legion. If you would claim to be among the Arisen, prove the strength of your resolve. Very well. Then we shall guide you in your trial. If you are an Arisen in truth, this humble task will prove no obstacle. The Arisen must possess the valor to stand against all threats, and the power to quell them. A tireless spirit of self-improvement grants the strength to lead the Legion.
Okay, so that actually gives us sort of an early idea of what the Arisen is, right? So the reason the Arisen can guide the Legion is because they possess a will strong enough to guide them, and a spirit of tireless self-improvement. So you'll remember from one of the early chronicles where, yeah, you are racked with shame over the sheer inadequacy of your abilities. So that sort of inadequacy of with your abilities, that being unsatisfied with your current abilities pushes you toward that tireless sense of self-improvement. Yeah, very cool. Also, strange thing, I wonder like who the representative for the Pawn Legion is. Like,
A Riftstone.
that's just like the collective voice of all the pawns? Like, what is that? That's kind of weird, isn't it?
The beast comes! Hurry!
I'm really ashamed to admit that
They
the
may
first
be
time I
prowling
played this
monsters
game,
about.
I had no idea. I spent like half an hour walking around and trying to figure out where I was supposed to go.
Do something!
Like, I kept running into that guy and was like, what am I supposed to do? And then, like, the thing I was looking for, like, I was looking for something to happen in the camp, even though, like, the cutscene specifically shows you a group of guys running towards the gate. I was like, well, what's happening? Like, so I felt really dumb. But a lot of Dragon's Dogma is like that, where it's like something should be obvious, but you kind of just overlook it. Cyclops! Yeah, see, like, the start of the game is like, it's packed. You got a little Cyclops fight, you got a Chimera fight, you got a Hydra fight, you get to see the dragon twice, like, that's pretty cool. Hey, that was a weird symbol, I wonder what that was. Oh, I missed! That's embarrassing. Hates fire. I mean, I'm not a big fan of fire. I mean, from a distance I am. Nice cozy warmth. But, like, being on fire? Dude, that hurts. Oh. That's a weird guy. Wonder what that's about.
Was a close scrape, that. Let us return to the encampment.
Report to the rift.
We've done as asked. Let us go and
So,
give word.
interesting thing.
Set out from here and we'll be on the path
It's
to
stated in
Leave
the
it to me.
beginning that pawns are made from, like, directly from the aura of the rift, right? In Dragon's Dogma 2, the Pathfinder says that pawns are made from the nothingness of the rift. And then, like, in this little intro segment, the Pawn Legion introduces themselves as the Pawn Legion, but all the text says, like, you're going to talk to the Rift. You're talking to the Rift, right? So it's like conflating the Pawn Legion and the Rift. And I feel like that's kind of something important.
Strange power emanates from it.
With that, your trial is complete. You are the Arisen in truth, proven beyond any doubt. Now, I bid you select a companion for the journey ahead. They shall serve you, and you alone, to share in your hardships, and aid you in every endeavor.
All right. Okay. We get to make our pawn now. 5 episodes in, and we're making our pawn. Okay. So, listen. I'm a Dragon's Dogma fan. And one funny thing about Dragon's Dogma is it doesn't have save files. So I have a bunch of different accounts. I have like 3 on the PS4. I have like 2 on the Switch. I got 1 on Steam. I had, I think, 2 on the PS3 actually. Um, but my pawn from the Switch, the little gimmick. Usually, I try to like go for a gimmick with my pawns. And my Switch's gimmick was his name was Bro Flexman, and his whole thing was I wanted to give him maximum knockdown power. So I built him around that, and he was pretty freaking good. In Bitter Black Isle on hard mode, I still saw him launch an eliminator like 30 feet in the air. So you can get knocked down pretty high in this game. Um, but he actually ended up, Bro Flexman made it to like the top 100 on the Switch for like, the top ranked pawns. So, I haven't played with Bro Flexman in a while, so I figured I would bring him back for this. So, everybody say hello to Brother Flexman. He's gonna be fighter, but we'll make him warrior later.
Our fealty is sworn to you, Arisen. From this day, the Legion's men called pawns live and die by your command.
I've learned of beasts.
Ooh, let's go. What did Rook learn of beasts? Oh, Cyclops. Maybe? I don't know. That's a weird time for that line to prompt. Alright. Let's see. What do I want to do for pawns? Okay. We got our pawns picked. So Alicia is actually my favorite mage pawn in my entire friends list. I don't know, does it show you how many hours you've spent with a pawn? She's probably the most. Yeah, so I like almost exclusively play pawns from my friends list because they're your buds. So playing with your buds is like almost like playing with your buds, you know? But so we got Alicia, who's one of my favorite, I mean, my absolute favorite mage pawn. And then we got Mel. This is the pawn of Red Sun over on X Twitter. He's like one of my favorite people. Posts lots of fun gameplay clips and stuff like that. All right, so Sir Burn's gonna have us go through some training. Let's do that.
Ah, a master in his pawn, is it? You'll be quite the force come the day you learn to fight. Mind you, that is a skill better honed in practice than in the heat of mortal combat. I can help in that regard, should you?
Of course, we're gonna have Sir Burn train us. How could we pass that up?
Let me be clear from the outset. I'm a harsh master, whoever the pupil. You'll complete 3 forms of training in sequence. Each serves to hone a different quality. You'll need more than raw muscle here. If you find a task too difficult to manage, you might reconsider your party.
That's some gameplay stuff there. Um, it's so funny whenever anybody's having a hard time in Dragon's Dogma. Uh, you see a lot of people like just complain, "Oh, this is too hard. This thing's too hard." It's like, okay, but did you consider maybe your party isn't fit for what you're trying to do? Yeah, maybe play the game.
There are other pawns here. You can choose among them if you care to. The first task is carrying freight. Haul the lot of them before my count ends. You're free to choose your company, but this is a task too great for just one person. Many hands lighten any load, as they say. Now, Get to it. We'll begin as soon as your task is to haul all of the freight before my count ends. Get to it.
Yeah, so, the whole party thing. You know, it's a role-playing game. You're supposed to, like, adjust the roles of your party, but people will be like, "Ooh, this thing is too hard for me," and instead of like just actually figuring out how to play the game. Like the funny thing about Dragon's Dogma is if you feel like you're missing something, you are. It's like incredibly easy to miss anything and everything. Wait, where's the last one? Oh, we already got it. Enough! Classic.
Well done. Meet each challenge with that vigor, and you'll make for a fine warrior afore long. Next is combat training. You'll face my Scarecrow army here. Destroy them before my count ends. A large group will be of help again, but you must choose your companions wisely. A company all doing the same thing is less effective than using a varied approach. Choose well. We'll begin as soon as you'll set about destroying scarecrows this time. Get them all before my count ends.
Let's go.
This scarecrow's weak to blows.
Force alone will topple them.
I'll fell it with a spell.
The deadline draws near, sir.
Did it?
Did it.
Enough!
Enough!
Well done. Meet each challenge with that vigor, and you'll make for a fine warrior afore long. Right then. Finally, you'll be destroying more scarecrows, but don't expect a repeat of the last.
There are two sorts of scarecrow, each with its own weakness. One falls only to steel and brute force, the other only to magic.
If you're not mindful of how you attack them, you'll fail. Strike fast and strike hard. Vary your party and your tactics until you find success. Use your head. We'll begin as soon as you're prepared. Just give the word. Well, it's back to the scarecrows for your last lesson. Destroy them all.
The scarecrow's weak to magic.
What happens if I just talk to him?
Are you daft? You've no time for chatter.
Tell me what I have time for. I'll goof around if I wanna.
This scarecrow's weak to blows.
Force alone will topple them. I'll fell it with a spell.
You must hurry. There's no time. It'll take more than that. Enough!
Enough.
That's the fastest I've ever seen it done. And on a task fit to challenge even a seasoned warrior. Well done. You've completed your training. See now the difference well-selected partners can make. Yes, no doubt, no doubt. You'll learn the rest from actual combat. If you have trouble, examine your party.
Yeah, let's go.
We'd best keep our party full. No harm in being prepared.
We'd best keep our party full. No harm in being prepared.
Yeah, I've tried playing Dragon's Dogma without pawns before, just solo, and it feels so lonely. Like, I just can't do it. I'm not gonna lie. It's not because it's, like, too hard or whatever. They give you plenty of, like, resources to be able to play it on your own if that's what you want. But, like, I'm so used to, like, hearing my pawns, yeah. Oh, I should have read that first. Oops. There, I'll back out, and then we'll read it. Okay. More notice board quests, by the way. Slay 2 seabirds. That's a crazy thing. Why would we do that? Oh yeah, I think all these quests are, like, given by Sir Byrne. A warrior should have keen sight to strike even the smallest targets with precision. Lately, the seabirds have been all over the fish we dry out in the village. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just silly. Hunt some of them down and help hone your warrior's eye. Is Sir Byrne from Cassardus? I don't know. Interesting. We'll see more when we get more quests. Defeat 7 phantasms. A plague of phantasms haunt the lands to the west. Dispel them afore they can work any evil on the good folk of Grancis. That doesn't tell us anything. Set against the dead. Defeat 45 undead warriors. The catacombs are hearth and home to the forces of the undead, though they might be returned to death quick enough. Their great numbers can overwhelm even a seasoned hand. They must not be allowed up to the surface. Okay, that doesn't really tell us anything either. Go and slay a knot of spiders. If you think this an easy task, I bid you think again, though it will serve you in training patience and vigilance. Okay, so I guess the idea is like, oh, it's small. You gotta find it to kill it, but I don't know. That's silly to me. Eye for an eye. Defeat 3 Cyclops. Whoop. Reports of peddlers and pawns attacked by Cyclopes have become a daily matter. The Duke has dispatched a force from Grand Soren, but the brutes are vast in number. There have been sightings near the falls and in the south. Go and thin their ranks. It is the sworn duty of all who serve the Duke to leave no threat to the safety of Grancis people unsquashed. Patrol the land and see these beasts undone. Defeat 35 female bandits. You can't call ladies beasts. That's not nice. Okay, but we'll do that. So that reading all those didn't really give us any good context.
Back to Cassidus, Arisen.
I could have swore the notice board there was like just of Sir Burns' requests. I know at least one of them that pops up is.
These starry-eyed boys of late are all ambition with nary a sniff of talent. When training demands the first effort, they flee one faster than the next. I know their lot all too well, eager to spill some blood, vent their spleens. War is but a lark to them. Such caprice can ill defend this camp, to say naught of all Grancis. Tis a sorry thing. Such caprice can ill defend.
Cool. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll talk to everyone except Mercedes in the camp again, see if they have anything new. And then I think we'll wrap this episode up.
If you're looking to join.
Okay, so I don't think anyone else is gonna say anything updated.
Pawns travel the rifts, connecting this world with those beyond.
Yeah, let's talk to Renard.
Hi there. Been some time, hasn't it? Enough time to become well famous in your case. The Arisen. 'Tis the second coming of Duke Dragonsbane, I dare say. I like it, friend. I like it well.
That's a line that I picked up. I like to say I like it well instead of I like it a lot. Specifically only because of Reynard.
Now, let us talk of business. You'd be a fool not to have a look at my wares.
Let's see if he has anything new. Doesn't look like it. Eden's Warden, that's new, right? A blazing blade that cannot be extinguished, possessed of a fire enchantment for all time. Khalidbolg. That's the name of like a famous like sword from a myth, right? Yeah, okay. So I just looked it up. Yeah. Khalidbolg is like it's from an Irish folk tale wielded by Fergus. I'll stick with Fergus. Yeah, and Khalidbolg apparently roughly translates to hard lightning or something like that. Anyway, neat. From Irish stuff. Khalidbolg. A sword struck by a bolt from the heavens. It forever crackles with a thunder enchantment. Scorched pelta. Small shield that emits a searing heat when exposed to the air. Its fire enchantment will outlast the sun. That's very dramatic. Needle mask. It hides your face. Bandit's mask. It's favored by bandits. Mummer's wear. Cloth wrap common to wandering minstrels and other entertainers. Armor fashioned from sturdy bones of various beasts. Scale coat. Armor fashioned from hydra scales. Very nice. Assailant's bracers. Doesn't hinder arm movement. That's pretty cool. Rare and valuable. Yeah, so all the scale stuff, I guess, is from hydras. Said to have been worn by a hunter of some renown. Scale greaves. Hydra scales. Rare and highly valuable. Black neck wrap, woven with magical fibers. Purple neck wrap, woven with magical fibers. Okay, actually, hold on a second. So this is actually kind of important. Looking at more than just the item description, a key component to sort of understanding the story of Dragon's Dogma is paying attention to elements. They determine how the world works, actually. Like, you might notice that there's a dark element on the Riftstone. So paying attention to elemental symbols is kind of important. And the way the elements tie to colors is actually also important. Because in Dragon's Dogma, colors have magical meaning. Celine has, like, bracelets um, on her wrist that the colors coincide to magical meaning. So like yellow coincides with the sun, red coincides with life, blue coincides with the sky, green coincides with growth. I think that's what it was. I think that's all that was listed in there. But then, like, you look at these, so obviously the color black ties with darkness, um, purple ties with lightning. And those are pretty consistent throughout. Like, you can get rings that'll say like the rose ring or whatever, helps prevent like burning and stuff like that. So red is tied to life, is tied to fire, which is actually like super important to the worldview of Dragon's Dogma, because when you get towards the end with the big fight with the big guy, not just Grigori, but the guy after that. Um, Will is tied to fire, which is tied to life, and then red is like the color of the main vocation, which is fighter, which has like more health and all that. So like all this stuff ties really tightly together. So the more you pay attention to that, the more you kind of understand stuff. And I think that's really cool that they pay. Oh, hey, speaking of the rings, Rose Ring, it's right there. Offers protection against catching fire. The iris ring, so it's like blue, prevents it offers protection against being frozen solid, and then violet, again purple, and it offers protection against thunder shock. So yeah, those are a couple of, if you're doing your own playthrough, like I'll point it out whenever it comes up, or I'll try to. Um, but yeah, if you're playing through the game and you're trying to understand the worldview, pay attention to elements and pay attention to colors. Yeah, all that stuff. Very cool. Okay. We're going. Ooh. Hey, it's that guy. He keeps walking away. That's kind of weird. Yeah, so we're gonna get our drip in order.
Have your pick. Any you like.
And then we're going to call this an episode. All right. Me and the boy dripped out. Bro Flexman. As an avid gym goer, he has to have his pecs out. Uh, hey, I was just talking about the elemental symbols and all that. Look at all that. You got a big holy symbol in the middle. Upper right, we got frost. Lower right, we got darkness. Lower left, we got fire. Upper left, we got lightning. Cool stuff. Sometimes, like, okay, if something includes like all the elements, it's probably somehow related to magic or something like that. The holy symbol is also tied to the faith. So yeah. And then the faith is tied to like a lot of the government stuff. Uh At least in, I mean, in Dragon's Dogma 1, because the faith isn't present in
Back to
Dragon's Dogma 2.
Cassidy, Arisen. 'Tis a fair
Yeah,
notion.
that'll do it for this episode. Big episode. We got our pawn. We got friends' pawns. Oh shoot, I almost forgot. We gotta check the quest details and do the chronicle. We gotta do both those things. This is where we left off. Check the area around the encampment until you find a threat that must be quelled. We did that, we found it, we killed it. We quelled it. A pack of monsters are attacking the encampment. Turn them away to prove your tireless spirit of self-improvement. We did that. We drove off that threat. Report to the Rift. Return to the Rift to report how your tireless spirit of self-improvement held true in the face of adversity. They are really hammering this tireless spirit of self-improvement home. You accomplished all the Voice of the Rift asked of you. Quest reward received. Nice. We did it. Cool. Now let's check that chronicle. You encounter a Riftstone, some manner of gateway between your world and that of the Pawn Legion. A voice comes from it, naming you Arisen, and tasking you with a trial to prove your worth. You know little of these matters, but can only trust this voice is tied to your destiny. The voice from the rift pronounces you worthy of being Arisen, one with the power to slay the dragon. You now have pawns at your command, and the hopes of every man and woman in Grancis upon your shoulders. Doubts still remain over whether you can execute the duty of your new office. At the least, your newfound ability to command pawns has seemed to catch the interest of the Master of Arms, Byrne, and Enlistment Corps Captain Mercedes. All right. That'll do it then. If you want me to use your pawn, you can like DM me your PlayStation ID. I'm playing on PlayStation. Or I think there's like pawn IDs, right? Or is that only Dragon's Dogma 2? I forget. Yeah, I don't think this has... Like, I think on the Switch you have pawn IDs, and then in Dragon's Dogma 2 you have pawn IDs. But yeah, if you want me to use your pawn, drop your pawn's name below. Drop me a friend request. I'm probably already friends with a few of you because I shared my information on X Twitter. But yeah, drop your stuff, and then maybe you'll see your pawn running around with me. That would be nice. Well, I'll see you in the next episode. Make sure you comment, subscribe, like, do all the funny YouTube stuff. I'd love to see you in the next one. That would make me so happy. Till next we meet, one foot after the next. Come what may.